Hi, welcome to Ask Ellen. Real questions, real talk, real change. I'm Ellen. I'm a personal coach, and I like to help women get through the bumps and the hiccups in their lives so they can move forward to have a happier life. Today I want to talk about something that a lot of women do, and some of you may not even realize that you're doing it. It becomes a habit. It becomes something that you did before and you just continue on. It's easy. And that is, we shrink. We shrink in our friendships, at work, with our siblings, other family members. We shrink in our relationships, in our marriages, in our extended families. It becomes a habit, and a habit that I really hope that you work to try to get out of. This is not a good habit. We don't need to shrink. We don't need to make ourselves smaller to make other people bigger and larger and more important in our lives, or larger in their lives. We call it being easygoing. We call it being understanding. And we sometimes do it because we're keeping the peace. But what does that really do to us? It shrinks us. It makes us disappear, and it makes us feel and seem like we're less worthy. Like that other person, those other people are far more important than we are. I don't want you feeling that way. Let's work on that so that we can stop shrinking and be the person that we're supposed to be. Let's talk about that. Stop shrinking so that we can be stronger, so that we can be more important to ourselves, so that we can be as important to ourselves as we make other people important to us. Let's get into it. So what does shrinking yourself in a relationship really look like? And again, this is something that we do kind of like a habit and just trying to keep the peace. You change your opinion so that it makes things a little bit easier. You don't bring something up even though it's troubling you because you don't want to start a fight or you don't want to disrupt the energy that's going on. You minimize maybe the success that you're having at work because your relationship partner isn't having that same success and you just don't want to look better than that person. When you accept less than from the person you're with because it's easier than asking for more. When you allow someone to misrepresent yourself and think that it's okay that they're saying what they're saying when it really isn't. We all do this once or twice in a relationship, probably more than twice. And it's the one-offs that I'm not talking about. You know, when you and your partner are trying to decide where to go for dinner and they suggest going for tacos and you maybe not really want it, but they want it, okay. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the times when you're constantly holding yourself back to make it easier for other people. That's when you're shrinking. And that's what we want to talk about today. That's the thing that needs to be broken so that you can start growing to your full potential. So how did we even learn this? How did we even normalize this? Well, let's think back to the first relationships that we ever had. They're the ones that we had with our parents. And if you weren't that rebel who was defying everything that your parents ever said, you were the one that did the things to make your parents happy. They may not have always been what you wanted to do, but you did it so that things in the family and in the house just went smoothly. You helped out here, you helped out there, and you just did it. Then you become labeled as the one that helps, labeled as the one that just makes things easy for people. And as you're doing that, and as you're getting these labels, you start feeling a little bit good about yourself because these are good words that people are saying about you, right? Oh, she's easygoing. Oh, she helps out all the time. So you start thinking that that's how you're supposed to be all the time. And somehow along the way, you lose your own voice. Our first relationships when we're in junior high and high school, well, that's a status thing. And yes, you could like a person and they like you and it has nothing to do with actual school. But let's be honest, it's all about school when we're young. When we're young, we want to impress our friends. I have a boyfriend. Oh, you have a boyfriend? Great, we both have boyfriends. It becomes this thing. It becomes this status. So now that you have the relationship, you don't want it to end because now you're part of this group that has boyfriends. So what do? Again, if it's not working very well, you start just doing things to make it easy. Maybe your boyfriend does XYZ that you don't like, but because you'd rather have the boyfriend, you accept it. You don't argue. You don't say, hey, I don't like the way this is going. You just move along with it. So now again, you're just normalizing the whole, I keep quiet to keep this other person happy. I don't rock the boat to make it easy. I don't say what's on my mind because I don't want to have an argument. So even though we kind of learn this shrinking way of being, especially in a relationship, no one then tells us to stop, to unlearn, to change the way that we bring ourselves into a relationship, the way that we share ourselves in a relationship. We still stay quiet. And what does that do? That keeps us from growing, that keeps us from learning, that keeps us from experiencing a relationship on the best level possible. When you can share things back and forth easily and without judgment, that's the type of relationship you want to be in. And that's true with any relationship. Relationships with your family members, relationship with your husband, relationship with your coworkers. You want to be able to say what's on your mind. You want to be able to share your thoughts. You want to be able to be validated for your own way of thinking. When you shrink long enough, you start to resent yourself in a quiet way. You also start resenting the people around you. You may not realize it because it's just this habit that you've done, but somewhere inside, you're feeling it. You feel unseen. You don't feel appreciated. You feel misunderstood. And after time, you'll actually forget the things that you actually want. You can't grow and reclaim your own power if you continue to let yourself not be heard. If you continually make yourself small. If you continually shrink yourself so that other people can be bigger and brighter than you. Let's start reclaiming our power. Let's start building ourselves back up. Let's start forgetting about shrinking and always being the one that's agreeable. Look, I'm not saying be aggressive. I'm not saying be confrontational. Let's start with subtle changes, subtle shifts that bring you up to where you've left other people. Maybe you say, I'm sorry, that doesn't work for me. Maybe instead of rushing in and helping out, you just pause for a moment. See if maybe someone else will step up. Maybe you don't rush to smooth out the tension that's happening around you. Maybe you let other people deal with that tension. You don't have to fix everything. Maybe you can just stop apologizing for your own preferences. Maybe you work out a way to agree, but also disagree. Maybe the way that you shift is to just compromise. Throw out a compromise that maybe you can say, okay, I'm agreeing with you this time, but next time, let's do it the way I want to do it. When you do something like that, you realize and you show that, hey, I'm as important as you are. The person receiving those words will understand, hey, it's not all about me now. I need to ask this person what they want too. And if it disrupts that other person too much, you're going to realize that you were placating to them too much. And maybe they're not the person that you need to be around. When you stop shrinking, and let's look at it physically, when you have pulled yourself back, your posture is just a little less. But when you can stand tall and be proud of yourself, stand up for yourself, when you expect more from others for you, your posture can be taller. Your posture can be straighter because you know you deserve to be treated the same way that you had been treating those people. And look, I'm not asking you to be someone that you're not. There are people that naturally do more for others. They have a more giving nature. And if you're that person, that's great. And I'm not asking you to change. The only thing I'm asking you to do is to expect the same in return. Don't do all the work in building that other person up if they don't return the favor. If they're not supporting you too, and look, it may not be at that same level, but if they're not supporting you too, then the scale just tips. And that's not the place where you want to be. Because if you are building them up and they don't try to build you up as well, that's you shrinking. So if you are a natural people pleaser, and there are people like that, I'm guilty of it as well, you still need to honor yourself. You still need to respect yourself. Know that you are more. Know that you deserve more. Expect more from others. Don't allow yourself to shrink back and just be the person that takes it, deals with it. I'm just asking you to take a look at you, at who you are. And if you feel like you're doing more, you might be actually shrinking yourself. Talk to the people that are around you if that's the case. Maybe you can see a way that you can kind of structure things a little differently so that you get the support that you need as well. The world does not need a smaller version of you. And the people in your life, if they truly deserve to be part of your life, they shouldn't want a smaller version of you either. Take a look at the relationships you're in. Are you smaller than you should be? Are you taking on more than you should be? Can you restructure them so that maybe you get the support too? Take a moment, add it in the comments. Where do you find yourself shrinking? And what are you going to do about it? I know you can do it. Gain that inner strength and expect the best for yourself. Because only when you expect it can you receive it. This is Ask Ellen. Real questions, real talk, real change. I'll see you in the next one.